What is going on, guys? Noah Brewer here with another video. This is kind of weird because it's a video that Tanner filmed, his crew filmed it, but I wanted to put it on my channel for the people that follow me. So this is basically me releasing the new CBO strategy that I've been working on all year. And I had my student with me. We basically took a store from 0 to 10K a day in a month with it. And yeah, I hope you guys are excited to see it. If you did already see it on Tanner's channel, well, watch it again. Why not? It's a lot to take in. I talked a lot. I gave a lot of really good information. But let me shut up and let's get right into it. Peace.
What's going on, everybody? Tanner here with another video. Hope you're all having an amazing and productive day. So we're still here, day number 3, and Noah's here today. Finally, super excited to have him here because I've been waiting for like a month now for him to talk about CBO. So what I want before we even get into like the CBO strategy and everything is just if you want to give like a quick intro to actually what CBO is for people that maybe don't know what it is. Maybe it's like a comparison for ad set level budgets and how it's going to become mandatory.
All right, so CBO is basically, it's a new budget system that Facebook has implemented around, it was in the beginning of Q4 last year when they first introduced it, and I never cared about it. I actually avoided it. But then they released that, you know, they were going to make it mandatory in September, and kind of scared me and pushed me to start messing around with it. So CBO is basically a new way to set the budget, where instead of setting the budget on an ad set, you're setting budget on the campaign level. You know, if you have 10 ad sets at $5 a day, each ad set will spend $5 with normal budgets, right? But with CBO, if you had 10 ad sets and you wanted $5 per ad set, then you would set the budget to 50, but it's not going to spend $5 per ad set. It's going to spend that $50. It's supposed to spend that $50 on the best performing ad sets. Mm-hmm. So instead of kind of putting smaller budgets into each individual ad set, it's supposed to kind of optimize for the best performing ones. So it's definitely an interesting concept, and I have a lot of trust in Facebook in terms of optimization, you know, because they've just gotten smarter and smarter over the past decade, and I think they're sort of peaking right now. You know, they're better than ever. Mm-hmm. So I really do trust them with CBO. But as with anything, it's a new avenue. Mm-hmm. You know, like when I started doing it, not a lot of people were doing it, and the people who were doing it were not backing. They weren't backing what they were saying up with tried and true results. Yeah. You know, like something that has worked for months and months. Mm-hmm. which is what I'm used to. That's what I trust. You know, somebody who's been doing it for a while, actually making money, not just like pushing, you know, spending like 10 grand a day to do like 15K in sales. Yeah. Not that that's bad, you know, if you have a good margin, that's not bad, but yeah. I mean, I just didn't really trust anything that anybody said because they weren't backing it up. They haven't been doing it long enough, whatever, which kind of pushed me to try and figure it out on my own. I kind of took bits and pieces of what other people were talking about and just started testing, and I did a lot of stuff. You know, CBOs here and there, probably made about 100 different CBO campaigns before I started to connect the dots. Mm-hmm. And, you know, start to understand. I would do like $100 CBOs here and there and really pay attention to, you know, what happens if I turn off an ad set. What happens if I make a new one? What happens if I do different budgets? You know, is there a difference between how many ad sets are in the CBO? Mm-hmm. You know, and you know, as you'll see, 5 is like the magic number that I found. And also the number of ads under each ad set, which I know you've been seeing some success with multiple ads, which that's something that I always try to do, which I think we're doing. How many do we have?
Always 4.
Like 4? Yeah.
So if you want to, you can go ahead and introduce who this is here and sort of what we're going to be talking about.
All right, so this over here is my student West. He started working with me on the 1st of last month, so it's been about like a month and a half or so. Yeah. And he had another store, but this store that we're seeing on the screen right now, I'll have you pop up the screenshot. This was started from scratch about a month ago.
April 16th we started it.
April 16th. So what day is it today? Right now it's May 19th, so a little bit over a month. You can see it's done 190K in sales. That's what's tracked. Is it 200 on the store yet?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, 200 on the
As
store.
of like today, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, we've been doing the new CBO strategy. The kind of I basically just took everything that I learned, out of those hundreds of CBOs that I did and messed up on a lot of them, and just kind of put it together and came up with this, systematical approach that sort of pleases all the pros and cons. And, like there's different pros and cons of CBOs, and I kind of put them together and made this. But, how has the experience been, just doing the whole, because I know that you were doing CBOs before me. And when you came to me, it was
disaster.
Yeah, it was a mess. It was a real mess.
Yeah, I would say it was a pretty big mess before, and I was just told, spend as much as you can and don't worry, it'll optimize after 7 days. Never take that advice. It's bad advice. But what you're seeing on the screen, that really has nothing to do with me. I mean, the only thing that has to do with me is the thing at the bottom and the amount spent. I spent that money and made that money, but Noah was the one who said, do this, do that, and really scaled it up the whole way. So it was a big difference, a lot slower than I would have done it if it were me in charge of it. It was definitely hard to be patient. You see top five on the side there. That was like 4 or 5 days in between each one. When you're seeing it, you're getting 5 or 6 ROAS on the side. It's hard to wait. It's really hard to be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna, wait.
You just want to start spending like 10 grand.
You want to be, pump the money into it, but you can see the results. We spent 40 and made almost 200. So that, it's good. It's a strategy that's working.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, it's more just paying attention to what works, right? And that's why I don't like going crazy, because like I'm not the kind of guy to just like throw a bunch of ad sets out there. Like somebody made a post in your group where he would make like 60 ad sets per day and just hope that they worked, and then the ones that didn't work he would turn off. Yeah. And I've tried that method and it doesn't work.
You lose more than you make more.
Most of the time, bro. It's like every day you're just it's basically like you're marketing paycheck to paycheck, which is stupid. So I really like to do one thing and then see how it works and then try to decide like what's the next best thing to do, which I think with this strategy, everything is kind of pre-planned. Like we kind of have a roadmap for what exactly we're going to do, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, I mean,
Should we get into it?
Yeah, we can get into it.
I've been waiting for a month.
The big reveal, man. The big reveal.
Actually, guys, I was joking. all you get is a screenshot. You guys can see the budgets and see how much was spent and kind of do the math and figure it out on your own.
I'm getting some ideas.
I'm going home.
It's like the EA Sports memes where it's like, do you want this? Pay $9.97.
Yeah.
No. So all right. So
this course first, the CBO course.
All right. So listen. This is all in sequential order. So on the bottom is the very first campaign that we made, and the top is the most recent, which this screenshot was taken today. So you can see it's only been active for like, this is the second day, I think. Which that campaign's doing kind of garbage, but
that's the worst one we've launched. So.
Yeah. But on the bottom, I have the name of the product blacked out, but you can still kind of see what we were doing. The first bottom campaign, you were doing $10 budgets, right?
Yeah.
So we started with $10 budgets. We did 7 ad sets, which is what we normally do. So even with $5 $20 budgets, I do the same thing, like 7 ad sets, just the magic number. If you want to, you can do 10. It doesn't really matter too much. But basically let that run and didn't really touch it too much. And then once we saw that it was doing really good, like it pretty much slapped like right out the gate, which was really good. So the campaign right above that, which I believe we started probably 3 or 4 days after the original campaign, did we do 10, 20?
I think we duplicated and then we added 3 or 4 more. Yeah, so I think it was 10.
Yeah, so the second campaign we had the first campaign going really good, and then we created a new campaign with 10 brand new ad sets, so new interest and everything. So almost like relaunching it, like kind of trying to get that spark going again. And also it just brought sales a lot quicker. So I feel like that, that part of the strategy is like really important because, it allows us to maneuver into the next part pretty quickly, as if otherwise you'd have to wait a long time. Kind of the name of this game is to get 5 ad sets that are performing really good, preferably different, different interests, different lookalikes, whatever, and then putting them into a CBO. So the whole reason of doing that second interest campaign, instead of adding 1 interest a day, we kind of jump started it by, starting with 20, in the first like 4 or 5 days. So we were able to start the campaign right above that, probably like 2 or 3 days, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was kind of sequential. It was like we gave it some time, just to optimize. But once we had 5 ad sets that had 3 or more sales, we took them from both campaigns, both those bottom campaigns. We took the top ad sets out of those 2 campaigns and put them into a CBO at $100 a day. And we basically just duplicated it. So that's why it's called the top 5, and because it's our top 5 performing ad sets. And the $100 a day was just our starting point. That's just the number that I see works the best. And that slapped. That was doing really good. It is still one of the best campaigns that we have here. The $21 or $22 cost per purchase, 5.47 ROAS. And the margin here is 60, by the way. So we have a average cost per purchase of 25 with $60 margin. So you can see like $22 cost per purchase is cake, on a margin like that. So we give that 4 days, and I think actually we gave that 7 days, because back when I was first implementing this strategy, I was waiting 7 days in between each CBO. So we would make the 100, wait 7 days, kind of let it optimize and stuff, and then we would duplicate that 100 as long as the 100 was doing good, and double the budget, make it 200 a day. And that's the campaign that you see right above. They're all named beautifully because I'm organized as hell.
So you just duplicated the campaign and changed the budget.
Right, double the budget. You can see that performed really good. I mean, not as good, but I mean, who cares? It was spending double the amount. So I think we waited another 7 days, and then we made the 400. So that was probably over the span of like a week and a half-ish that we went from 100 to 400. So that's probably around the time that we started doing like a couple grand a day. But we were also adding 1 new ad set to those original 2 campaigns. So like I told you, the whole method here is to scale horizontally while scaling vertically, which means, consistently making new ad sets, new interests, new audiences, while scaling the budgets on ones that work. So in the background, we were making new interests. Mm-hmm. So basically what we did from that point, by the time we had that 400 CBO, we decided to stop it there. I actually did an $800 CBO with the first guy that I did this with, and it did not perform that well. So I decided to just cut it at 400, and we'll just make the top 5 number 2. So by this time we had 5 more interests that were performing really well. So we made the top 5 number 2, which is right above that. And you can count it. It's like probably seven days between those 2 as well. Same exact thing. So I'll just skip through. You can see top 5, 2 CBO 400. I think this is when we started hitting 10K days, when we were at that level. And then we were kind of thinking probably around 1,000 sales at this time. And we were thinking, maybe it's time to get into lookalikes. We probably could have got away with doing a top 5 number 3, but I didn't want it to be, timing with lookalikes to me is like pretty important. Yeah, timing on lookalikes is important. So I really I didn't want to wait too long because that's like a death sentence. So we just decided to start introducing them, which we started making 1 new lookalike campaign every single day. And we did that for about 4 or 5 days. And our plan was to do the exact same thing, and we're still in the process of doing this now. Basically make the PV lookalike campaigns, and you can see that that's actually normal budgets. So that's kind of our foundation, right? Like those 2 campaigns on the bottom, we consider that the foundation. That's the horizontal. And then the CBOs with the budget scaling, that's the vertical. So we're doing the exact same thing with lookalikes, just trying to get like a good foundation of lookalikes working, which you can see that we have 4 campaigns. I mean, there's probably at least 20 ad sets out of those 4 campaigns that are performing good. But yeah, we just made every single lookalike campaign day by day, and they're performing good. But then now what we're doing is we're starting to make, take the top 5 out of the page view lookalike campaign, and we put it into a CBO 100. And you can see that we doubled it up, and it did not as good. And then we doubled it up again, and it's doing not as good. So I think our next plan, instead of making another add to cart CBO, is to do retargeting, because we haven't done retargeting yet.
Wow. And one quick question. So for the original interest campaigns at the ad set budget level, are you using the same, like, I don't know, I think you said like $10 a day budgets. Are you using the same budgets there as the lookalike ad set level budgets?
Yeah, we're doing 10 on the lookalikes. Yeah.
And have you seen anything of like, because I don't have a ton of experience with CBO, but like some things I've experienced before has been like, maybe I do a new budget or whatever, and it kills the other previous CBO with a lower budget.
Yeah, so that was obviously one of the things that I tested when I was in the initial testing phases. When I was, just doing it here and there, not like an organized thing like this. Mm-hmm. That was one of the things that I did notice, is that CBOs kind of work differently from ad sets, where I would never do this with an ad set, doubling budgets and stuff, because I just noticed exactly what you said. If you double the budget, it'll just kill the original. Mm-hmm. And then eventually the doubled budget one would die out and you're left with nothing.
Yeah.
But I don't really see that happening with CBOs. It's been about a month and the originals are still doing okay. So, I mean, even if it does happen, that's kind of why we moved into lookalikes, because I see that lookalikes especially are a lot more consistent. And I mean, even you can see, if you look down on the top 5, number 1, we have 3 different campaigns. Those are all the same ad sets, same ads, everything's active. They're all pretty much performing the same, if not, within $2 or $3 of each other. And obviously it's on lifetime. So if you put it on last 7 days, it's probably a little bit different, but yeah, I mean, I haven't really seen it affect. You know that if it affected it, I wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
Because I think really long term, if it's gonna last. I mean, if it's not gonna last, I won't even waste my time on it.
Yeah.
It's kind of the whole reason why I take it slow, but at the same time, like, it's really, really fast. Like we were hitting 10K days before we even checked the damn store.
Yeah.
We kind of just looked at it and we were
Snuck up on
like,
us,
yeah,
for
like,
sure.
holy shit, we're doing 10K a day, type of thing.
We had one day where we spent something crazy.
It was 1,100.
1,300. Yeah, like
$1,100
made 10.7, and like the craziest thing you've ever seen. It was like a 9.46 ROAS, and we made 3.3 in profit that day.
Wow.
That's
amazing.
kind of just like what just happened kind of thing. It's pretty cool. So we're just trying to build from there. But now that's been like consistently how it's been going. So
yeah. I mean, I think the margin's big enough to where, the cost per purchase is going to consistently go up, but that should be fine. We should be able to maintain it for another month or so, maybe a little bit longer. But I think that's the game that we're in now, is just trying to get new campaigns to take off like the originals now. Mm-hmm. But I've been in this long enough to know that once the cost per purchase, like once that bottom number, the 24.75, once that goes up, usually stays where it is. Very hard to get that down, especially when you have 1,500 orders.
Yeah.
You'd have to make another 300 orders at half that cost per purchase just to bring it down by $1. Mm-hmm. So usually when that goes up, it's up. Yeah. But maintaining it is like where a lot of people struggle. Getting to a 10K a day point and maintaining a 5 ROAS. For most people that I know, it's like unheard of. Like nobody really can do that. I think the main reason is because they're not patient enough. They just try to jump the gun. Definitely. They come in with the understanding it's just like if it has a 5 ROAS or a 4.93, you just start spending more and that'll remain. Yeah. Or they're like, oh, if I spend 50K a day, and I only have an ROAS of 2.5, they're still fine, right? But I mean, which would be good, but most of the time it doesn't end like that. Yeah. I'm kind of more of a guy to just like, this is obviously working really well. Yeah. So we're just going to leave it.
Definitely gives me a good idea because like right now the stuff I'm doing with that one student that's maintaining like over 6 ROAS for both of the campaigns, but it's only ad set level budgets. Like we haven't even tried any CBOs at all for it yet.
Dude, that's the defining moment.
We're gonna have to weigh out. We're gonna work on some more interest though, still to get that solid 5. But I like this. I like the mix of the ad set level budgets with the CBO. Now, what do you think is gonna happen with this entire strategy? Like once CBO becomes mandatory, and you're using the ad set level budgets to find these ad sets, what do you think is gonna be the next case?
No idea.
Have to wait and find out.
Yeah, I mean, I really haven't messed with testing with CBOs, because I think it'll be a lot easier down the line. Plus, with normal Facebook ads, I learned how to scale first, which I think is like a really good advantage that somebody like me where I only do Facebook ads, that's like the advantage that I should have, like being able to focus on scaling rather than just like most people can't even learn how to scale because they don't they can't even find their first winner. Like with me, I have students and stuff, so when they have a winner, I can learn how to scale or implement what I know, which is good. So I'm taking advantage of that, and obviously I help them find products and test them. So just with new CBOs, I don't see a reason to start messing with it.
Yeah.
They're not going to implement it until September. I think CBOs will be a lot better until then. But I think knowing how to scale when CBO does come mandatory, I'll probably have a better testing strategy than most out there, mainly because I know like how to transition from scaling horizontally or just testing into scaling, which I feel like that's where a lot of people mess up, is they don't know how to transition from testing to scaling. Like they want to just keep testing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they never focus on one thing or focus on the thing that works.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think it was worth the month-long wait because now I should be able to make a lot more money.
Yeah, I have a disclosure though. I've only done this 3 times. It has a 100% success rate, but that doesn't mean that it's proven.
Yeah.
My 0 to 6 figure strategy was proven hundreds of times, like literally. And this is not like that. This is kind of why I've been kind of low key about it, because I bet 2 months from now I'll probably be looking at this video like look at that idiot, he doesn't know what he's talking about. So, but I think it's developed into something strategical and measurable. But I'm just saying, it's not 100% proven yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's at least worth a shot if you're in that phase and if you have 5 consistent profitable ad sets.
Oh yeah, I think it's always. I mean, just look at these results.
Yeah.
And like I've had other people where we have the first 2 campaigns going good, and we just recently transitioned into CBO 100, and those are performing good. So I'm hoping to follow the same exact path.
Any questions, Brandon, Eric?
Actually, this helps a lot though because I never knew about like the transitioning phase into scaling, as you said.
Yeah.
So.
Because a lot of people, I mean, they don't know what to look for.
Yeah.
Like.
Or when you were cold testing, were you just like same thing? Are you going like $40 a day starting off?
Yeah. So he was doing $10 budgets.
Yeah.
So 7 ad sets, $70 a day. Yeah, which is a little bit different than the $5 a day strategy, but it's essentially the same. Yeah. But I mean, especially West here, like before, he came to me with a store doing like $3,000 a day, and it was doing about $100 a day profit.
Pretty brutal.
So I mean, it was really easy. That was my first mission, is to turn that store around. Which it was really simple. Talking about transitioning, man, this guy was just testing. I mean, which is not bad, right?
Yeah.
Because you were listening to the people who are influencing you. But I mean, I saw one strategy that you were doing, which by the way is not a strategy that I do, but like just the mere fact that it was working so well for you, I was like, just cut out everything else and focus on that one thing. And I mean, the store was doing
2K profit a day.
Yeah, like 1,000 to 2,000 a day profit. So that was a sexy turnaround. But seriously, understanding that transition.
Like 2 days too. Like that was doing terrible, and then 2 days later doing really good.
Yeah, like within 3 days of working together.
Yeah. I was like, great, I already made my money in one day.
Yeah. That's that transition, you know, like there's always a time to stop testing and start scaling what's working.
Yep.
Which is good.
And then right now, what's your focus on with having like, are you guys just gonna keep focusing on this one store? Or do you guys plan on like opening up new stores and trying to like more replicate it?
I'm a replicate.
Yeah, we already have a couple stores doing pretty good. So.
I'm a baby maker. We got 2 more on the way.
That's right.
Yeah, and I do it with other students as well. I'm all about replication. If it's not duplicatable, I don't mess with it. You know, and I'll test it with multiple people. Which, like I said, I've done this three times now. There's another guy, and then him, and then there was another guy, but his PayPal froze, so he didn't get past $3K a day, sadly. But yeah. It proved to work though. We got to 200, and he was doing 3,000 with like a 600 ad spend. And that was only a $30 margin, too. So it wasn't even super high ticket. But yeah, poor PayPal ruined it.
Well, I'm glad I finally got to see it, bro. I know we already talked about it, but also I'm glad that Wes was able to come over here. Sort of like
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, get a better take on it. I don't know if you want to shout out on social media or whatever. I'll put it in the description below if you want it.
I'll just shout out my video making company for sure.
Go for it.
Definitely the best dropshipping video ad company out there right now.
True.
Dropshipvidsfast.com, because everyone in the dropshipping community wants videos fast. So dropshipvidsfast.com, and everyone in Noah's inner circle is using the service right now. It's a 1 to 3 day turnaround for dropship video ads for Facebook and Instagram. It's pretty simple.
Hey, we're finding winners.
Can I put an affiliate link in the description?
Absolutely, yeah.
Wait, hey, we're finding winners with his videos. This whole thing is his videos.
My company made the video that did all of this. There's only one video doing all of these numbers.
Link in the description.
Yeah, link in the description. That's right.
Also, Noah, make sure you guys go check out Noah's channel. All the stuff he has going on. Anything specific you want to shout out, go for it, because I really appreciate you coming down here, helping out with everything, just sharing this for the channel too. Yeah,
I don't really have anything. I mean, I'll be uploading this video on my YouTube channel as well.
Definitely.
Which my channel is good. I've been talking a lot about my Pioneer Method product research strategy, which is basically this. Like, this is not a product that we saw somebody else doing and we stole it from them. You don't see 5 ROASs with those. Not often, at least. But this is something where we found the product randomly.
Well,
and
it's also a secret where we found the product.
Hey,
that's a secret too.
Okay, yeah, but we found the product randomly, and we're just like, yeah, let's test it. So, I mean, that's the premise of the Pioneer strategy. But if you want to learn more, definitely go check out my YouTube channel, because I just uploaded a couple videos on it.
Do it. And subscribe to me if you want to, if you're a new viewer. But anyways, I appreciate everybody watching. This is the 3rd day. We're not done here with the mentorship. We still got a few things to do. But I'm glad we got to make this video. I know it's a longer one, but a lot of value here. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.